Greetings, peace to the world. I'm Benito Nopalito. We're here in San Juan Capistrano looking at this residential orchard. When I first came on site, we were having some challenges with some of the trees. Some of them were thriving, some of them weren't looking so great. There was very little healthy topsoil on site. We thought that we could come here and implement some of our permaculture strategies that really emphasize an ecological approach to food production. So today, I'm just gonna show you a few examples of those strategies that we have in place in this orchard that are gonna bring it to the level of abundance we're looking for. So this orchard was beautifully terraced. The one thing is it was very inefficiently set up with overhead sprayed irrigation. So we very simply converted that to drip irrigation that runs along the side of the orchard, and it's a much more targeted approach to irrigation. So before we get into any food production, we really want to address the issue of erosion. We need to build healthy soil to build healthy fruit trees, and we can't build that healthy soil if it's eroding away every season. This slope is too steep for a lot of earthwork strategies like Berman basins or bioswales. Our strategy instead was to plant a row of vetiver on contour with the slope that is going to impede the flow of water that is rushing down the hill. Instead, that water is going to hit the vetiver. It's going to slow, spread, and sink that water instead of allowing that water to just channel down, start creating a creek, a little ravine that gets eroded out of the soil, washing away all of our precious topsoil. So once we're mitigating a lot of that erosion, another strategy we have to cool this space down and to retain a lot of the topsoil is reforestation. On a residential scale, when we're talking about reforestation, we're talking about prioritizing native plants that are highly adapted to living in this climate and in this bioregion. Our suburbs were developed through incredible coastal chaparral here in San Juan Capistrano, and that chaparral is very unique to our bioregion. So the least we can do is reforest our landscape with native plants that look beautiful, thrive in our local conditions, and also provide food, habitat, and a safe place for wildlife to raise their young. And that wildlife is incredibly important part of our integrated pest management strategy. We don't want to use chemical pesticides or poisons or even traps for wildlife. This is our coastal buckwheat growing right here. And we also have our coyote brush. Both of these plants are going to shrub out. They're going to cover a lot of this barren soil. They're going to act as a living mulch. These elderberry trees are an essential part of our reforestation strategy. They grow really fast and look really cool in the landscape, but they're also fruiting at the same time as our grapes. So if we can provide birds with their instinctual food sources, they're obviously going to lay off our grapes. This coffee berry is a plant native to our coastal chaparral. It's a beautiful evergreen plant that's going to make a great hedgerow or privacy screen. The sycamore tree, this black walnut tree, and the coastal live oak are the three main building blocks of our canopy. They're all going to be 40-foot plus tall trees that are going to shelter the rest of the orchard. This is a Lee jujube. A lot of people haven't heard of jujube. They're also referred to as Chinese dates. We selected this cultivar to be in our orchard because it's so rare. It's something we're not going to find in the grocery store. At the same time, it grows great in this climate. These figs are another great addition to Southern California gardens. They grow great in this climate. We got little grapes fruiting. They're coming in. The grapes do really well. I can smell the citrus blossoms. This apple is filling in and putting out a lot of fruit. The overall goal of everything we discussed today was to build healthy soil, to bring in native flora, and enrich our precious Southern California coastal chaparral ecosystem. And we ended up designing a whole strategy around erosion control, soil building, reforestation, watershed management, because what it really comes down to is having a healthy ecosystem. And when all of these elements of our ecosystem are intact and working, the abundant food production is going to be a byproduct. So please reach out, give me a call, contact Elemental Designs if you are interested in taking this more holistic approach to land management.